Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for standing by for the third quarter 2023 earnings conference call for XPeng Inc. At this time, all participants are in listen-only mode. After management's remarks, there will be a question and answer session. Today's conference call is being recorded. I will now turn the call over to your host, Mr. Alex Xu, Head of Investor Relations of the company. Please go ahead, Alex.
Thank you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to XPeng's third quarter 2023 earnings conference call. Our financial and operating results were issued via Newswire services earlier today and available online. You can also view the earnings press release by visiting the IR section of our website at ir.xiaopeng.com. Participants on today's call from our management team will include our co-founder, chairman, and CEO, Mr. He Xiaopeng, Vice Chairman and President, Dr. Brian Gu, Vice President of Corporate Finance and Investment, Mr. Charles Zhang, Vice President of Finance Accounting, Mr. James Wu, and myself. Management will begin with prepared remarks, and the call will conclude with a Q&A session. A webcast replay of this conference call will be available on the IR section of our website. Before we continue, please note that today's discussion will contain forward-looking statements made under the Safe Harbor provisions of the U.S. Private Securities Litigation Reform Act of 1995. Forward-looking statements involve inherent risks and uncertainties. As such, the company's results may be materially different from views expressed today. Further information regarding these and other risks and uncertainties is included in the relevant public filings of the company as filed with U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. The company does not assume any obligation to update any forward-looking statements except as required under applicable laws. Please also note that XPeng's earnings press release and this conference call include the disclosure of unaudited GAAP financial measures as well as unaudited non-GAAP financial measures. XPeng's earnings press release contains a reconciliation of the unaudited non-GAAP measures to the unaudited GAAP measures. I will now turn the call over to our co-founder, chairman, and CEO, Mr. He Xiaopeng. Please go ahead.
大家好，我很高兴地向各位股东跟朋友们汇报，经过3个季度的变革跟努力，从今年3季度开始，小鹏的销量、品牌士气和自由的现金流都进入了初步的正循环。在汽车这样复杂的智能制造行业里面，实现这样的探底回暖是非常难得的，因此我特别感谢大家一路的支持和耐心。那么接下来我们很有信心在4季度实现销量的快速增长以及毛利率的显著反弹，并且为2024年实现远高于行业的增速跟大幅度扩张市场份额做好准备。
Hello, everyone. Today, I'm pleased to report to our shareholders and customers that after 3 quarters of transformation and effort, we have entered into the initial phase of a virtuous cycle, driving improvements in sales, brand image, team morale, and free cash flow. It is extremely difficult to deliver such a turnaround in the smart car manufacturing industry. Therefore, I would like to express my gratitude for your support and patience throughout the journey. Going forward, we're confident in achieving rapid sales growth and notable improvement of gross margin in the fourth quarter, and we're ready to gain considerable market share in 2024, achieving a high growth target that is significantly above the industry average.
新能源汽车行业的竞争在2023年日趋激烈，但是这也带来了重塑整个行业格局的巨大机会。车企在电动化跟智能化的竞争里面，正在加速整个智能电动汽车颠覆传统油车的整个进程，而 AI 正在重新定义智能电动汽车的架构以及整个车企的商业模式。我认为整个智能辅助驾驶的商品体系是没有所谓的捷径的，检验智能辅助驾驶进入转折点的唯一的标准就是完成很低的成本、高安全、好的体验，在全国性覆盖跟全车型覆盖。那么在今年1024的科技日上 我们开启了 XNGP 首批的20个无图城市的工程，并且将在下个月，也就是12月底，我们会实现覆盖全国50个城市。我们会通过科技和 AI 赋能用户，使用户享受在全国畅通无阻的辅助驾驶自由，并且率先跨过智能辅助驾驶的拐点。从现在开始，我相信的5年内会是智能辅助驾驶的爆发期。小鹏汽车也目标是一定要成为用户心智中间智能化的首选品牌。
China's new energy vehicle industry has witnessed resilience and growth amidst increasingly intensified competition throughout 2023, creating great opportunities to reshape the industry landscape. The competition on electrification and smartification is speeding up the replacement of ICE cars with NEVs. And AI is revolutionizing the technical structure of smart EVs and transforming automakers' business models. There are no shortcuts to ADAS technology. The only way to determine whether mass production and the inflection point of ADAS technology have been reached is the achievement of nationwide coverage with low cost, a high level of safety, and great customer experience across different models. During our Tech Day on October 24th, we launched the public testing of XNGP in the first batch of 20 cities where high-definition maps are unavailable. Our plan is to expand our coverage to 50 cities by the end of this year. Our technology and AI will empower our customers to use ADAS wherever they drive throughout the country. XPeng has been a pioneer and leader in ADAS technology and its customer adoption. I strongly believe that the demand for ADAS will surge in the next 5 years, and XPeng will be the preferred smart EV brand for customers.
在明年2024年，我们还会整合多个不同体系的全站自研的能力，将下一代的电子电器的架构、统一的智能驾驶的域、人机共驾的智能辅助体系，以及智能语音、智能座舱能力和全新的大语言模型能力，下一代智能的底盘跟智能动力域，把这些统筹进行整合。那么它可以实现快速部署到不同的车型，并且进入全球化，也可以实现新的小鹏在整车跨平台，甚至从汽车到其他交通工具的整合。我相信长期来看，这会大大的提高我们在全球部署和多个产品部署的工程能力，并且通过不同智能域的整合研发，加强我们在整个大智能领域的壁垒。
Next year, we'll consolidate and integrate our full-stack in-house R&D capabilities in a wide range of systems, including the next-gen EE architecture, the unified ADAS domain, smart cockpit, and voice assistant, brand new large language models, the next-gen chassis, and powertrain. As a result, we'll be able to deploy multiple models for the global market rapidly and realize the integration of cars between different platforms, as well as between cars and other vehicles. I believe this will significantly enhance our engineering capabilities to support various products in the global market, strengthening our edge in smart technologies by integrating different systems.
在坚持智能化战略的同时，我们在过去3个季度对公司的战略、组织、管理团队以及产品技术规划都进行了大刀阔斧的调整跟升级。正常来说，如此多的变革如果在同时发生，会有非常大的风险，并且对短期产生很不利的影响。但是我很开心的，因为小鹏人的互信跟努力，这些变革不但没有影响我们的短期业绩，反而帮助我们取得了超出我们最开始预期的成果。
Apart from our commitment to ADAS and smart EV technologies, we have made crucial changes to our corporate strategies, organizational structure, senior management team, and product and technology roadmap over the past 3 quarters. Making various changes of such a magnitude simultaneously could have brought risks and impacted near-term results. However, thanks to the mutual trust and endeavors of the whole XPeng team, these changes did not affect our short-term performance. Instead, they allowed us to deliver better than expected results.
在3季度， 我们的交付量超过了4万台，环比增长72%，并且实现了正向的自由现金流，流入超过10亿元人民币。
For the third quarter of 2023, our vehicle deliveries exceeded 40,000, representing a 72% increase quarter-over-quarter. Additionally, we achieved positive free cash flow with over 1 billion RMB in cash inflow.
在4季度，我们预计交付量会创下历史新高，我们的目标是超过6万台。
We're confident of setting a new record for vehicle deliveries in the fourth quarter. Our target is over 60 million units. 60,000 units.
从车型来看 ，G6 在上市的第一个季度就成为25万级别智能纯电 SUV 的销量冠军，在10月份交付量超过了8700台。G6 的成功表现充分证明了小鹏可以凭借差异化的产品技术和有效的营销，重新定义在细分市场的标杆车型，引领智能化向更大客户群的渗透。
Regarding product sales, the G6 electric SUV has become the top-selling vehicle in the 250,000 RMB price range during its first quarter on the market. In October, over 8,700 G6 vehicles were delivered. This early success of the G6 is a strong validation of XPeng's ability to create and introduce a new benchmark model in a relevant market segment, thanks to our highly differentiated technologies and effective marketing. By doing so, we're bringing smart EV technologies to a much broader customer base.
在9月，我们推出来了竞争力全面提升的2024款 G9， 并兑现了技术性的降本，实现了整个毛利超过了原来 G9。新的 G9 在10月交付量已经突破4000，成为30万级纯电 SUV 的明星产品。
In September, we launched the 2024 edition of XPeng G9 with a higher gross margin than that of the original version. This cost reduction was made possible through advancement in technology and engineering. In October, we delivered over 4,000 units of G9, making it one of the top-selling electric SUVs in the 300,000 RMB price segment.
在10月份，我们的总交付量突破2万，创下历史新高，重新夺回在造车新势力里面纯电的销量第一名的排名。
In October, we achieved a record-breaking sales month with over 20,000 vehicle deliveries and secured the top spot among EV startups for BEV sales volume again.
在11月17日即将开幕的广州车展上面，我们的新的旗舰车型 X9 将会正式与消费者见面，并且开启预售。X9 是一款纯电智能大七座 MPV。但是它在空间乘坐以及颜值驾驶上完美组合了 MPV 和 SUV 的特点，它是一款完全不同于传统的全新 MPV。那么 X9 标配了后轮转向，转弯半径甚至和 P7 相当，加上行业最领先的无图 XNGP， 它可以使整个大型车的驾驭也可以做到轻松自如。我相信在市场上还没有任何其他的 MPV 车型具备X9 这些技术能力。X9 同时将会在2024年1月初开始交付，我期待 X9 成为大型纯电 MPV 市场上销量的第一名。
We're excited to announce that we will showcase our flagship MPV, the XPeng X9, at the Guangzhou Auto Show and start pre-sale on November the 17th. The X9 is a 7-seater pure electric smart MPV built on the SEPA 2.0 architecture. It stands out from traditional MPV models with superior space, design, and maneuvering that perfectly combine the advantages of an MPV and SUV. Moreover, the X9 comes equipped with rear-wheel steering as a standard configuration, enabling a turning radius similar to that of the P7. With XNGP, our industry-leading technology that does not rely on high-definition maps, maneuvering an MPV has never been easier and more agile. These technical capabilities are not found in any other MPV models on the market. X9 will be delivered from the beginning of January 2024. We're confident that X9 will become the top seller in the large electric MPV market.
在2024年，我们不仅会基于扶摇架构推出竞争力突出的爆款新车型，我们还计划推出基于15万级别的全新品牌。通过与中国最大的出行平台滴滴的战略合作，新的品牌将会极大的加速我们在 A 级车市场的销量以及份额。我们的新品牌的首款产品，也就是 A 级智能纯电的轿车 Mola 内部代号，研发当前进展是非常的顺利。我们估计 Mola 会在2024年的3季度上市。在我看来，明年推出的 Mola 只是一个开始。通过进一步的创新以及极致的成本控制，我们还会在最主流的15万元，也就是2万美金这个级别，率先推出多款支持这个高阶自动驾驶的车型。我们相信这会与同价位段的车型拉开巨大的代际差距，获得一个全新广阔的蓝海市场。
In 2024, we plan to launch highly competitive new models based on the SEPA 2.0 architecture. Additionally, we intend to introduce a new EV brand in the 150,000 RMB price segment. Leveraging our partnership with DiDi, China's leading mobility technology platform, we believe that this new brand will greatly accelerate our sales growth and expand our market share in the A-class EV market. Our team is currently on track to develop Mona, the first model under this brand, with an expected launch date in the third quarter of 2024. We believe that Mona is just the beginning of an exciting journey, and we're committed to pushing the boundaries of technology and keeping costs under control. This will enable us to launch smart EV models that boast autonomous driving technology in the mass market segment at a price point of 150,000 RMB or $20,000. This move will give our product a significant edge over other models in the segment, allowing us to reach a wider audience in the blue ocean market segment.
我们的销售渠道在总裁王凤英女士的带领下，正在进行一场脱胎换骨的变革。我相信，它会使整个的体系变得更高效、灵活以及更快的扩张速度，并且面向更多的3、4线的整个的区域。我们在今年的前3个季度，末位淘汰了近100家的销售店，并且推出了木星计划，以引进更多强有力的经销商伙伴。我们在2个月内完成了100多家全新销售店的招商工作，并且与一大批优秀的豪华车经销商集团首次合作。我们将从4季度开始加速开出新的经销门店，并且在今年底、明年初实现超过500家店的销售网络规模。随着渠道的升级和扩展，营销策略的多样性的变革，我相信这会成为在小鹏2024年及以后销量增长的重要推动力之一。
Our president, Ms. Wang Fengying, has been leading a significant overhaul of our sales network, making it more efficient, flexible, and expanding faster to cover more Tier 3 and Tier 4 cities. We closed almost 100 low-performing stores during the first 3 quarters this year and launched the Jupiter Project, a program to recruit more competent franchisee partners. We secured investment for over 100 new stores within 2 months and established cooperation with top-tier dealer groups specializing in luxury vehicles. As we head into the fourth quarter, we're accelerating new store openings and expanding our sales network to reach our goal of 500 stores by the end of the year or early next year. These upgrades and rapid expansions, coupled with innovations in marketing, will become one of the most important drivers for our sales growth in 2024 and beyond.
在9月底，我拜访了大众集团狼堡总部，我们与 Bloom 先生和大众的高层一起深入讨论了下一步的全面战略合作项目。双方在技术上长期战略合作的蓝图更加清晰，我们也积极探讨了在国际化市场更深入的战略合作机会。我们和大众联合开发的基于 G9 平台的车型正在高效且快速的推进，同时我们在供应链上的战略合作也在卓有成效的推进。预计 在明年我们供应链的降本将会产生显著的成果。同时，为了加强综合的成本控制能力，我们会向行业里面优秀的友商进行学习，在设计、研发、制造、营销等全流程的降本。那么这个进展现在是非常快速，让我很有信心加速甚至超越原定计划在2024年年底降本25%的目标，使明年的整体毛利率得以明显的提升。
During late September, I had the opportunity to visit the Volkswagen Group's headquarters in Wolfsburg. We had a detailed discussion with Mr. Bloom and Volkswagen's senior management regarding our comprehensive strategic partnership, which helped clarify the blueprint for our long-term strategic cooperation in technology. We also explored deeper strategic cooperation opportunities in the international market. Currently, we're jointly developing models based on the G9 platform, which is in full swing. The strategic cooperation in the supply chain is also progressing effectively, and we expect cost reduction in the supply chain to generate meaningful results in the next year. To enhance our cost control, we learn from the best practice of OEMs in the industry. The progress of cost reduction in the entire process of design, R&D, and manufacturing and marketing has given me confidence in accelerating the progress to reach the goal of 25% cost reduction by the end of 2024, or even exceed it, which will significantly increase the gross profit margin next year.
从现金流的角度看，我们3季度末的在手现金约为365亿人民币。在3季度，我们实现了超过10亿元人民币的正向自由现金流。随着新的产品和技术降本驱动的我们的毛利率显著的改善，我们预计4季度将会产生更大规模的正向自由现金流，这也是我们走向长期规模盈利的起点。
Let's look at the cash flow. We had approximately 36.5 billion RMB in cash at the end of the third quarter of 2023, and we generated over 1 billion RMB in positive free cash flow during the same quarter. With our new products and technology-driven cost reduction, we expect to see a significant improvement in our gross margin, resulting in even stronger positive free cash flow in the fourth quarter. This is an important milestone for us to achieve profitability at scale in the long term.
最后，我们预期2023年第4季度，我们的总交付数量约为59500至63500辆，环比增长48.7%至58.7%。那么收入呢，预计约为人民币127亿至136亿元。那么下面一步，小鹏将会围绕在组织和营销以及在品类创新上继续变革。我相信今年起一系列变革的效果将会在2024年以及以后体现得更加明显，为到明年4季度进入大规模高速发展进入快车道打下基础。我们也会把握好智能化加速发展的先机，快速的进一步提高组织的能力跟效率，取得更加领先的市场份额，为在2030年成为中国最领先的智能汽车公司做好准备。
Looking ahead, we're projecting our total vehicle deliveries to be between 59,500 and 63,500 units in the fourth quarter of 2023, with a quarter-over-quarter growth rate of 48.7% to 58.7%. We expect our revenue to be between 12.7 and 13.6 billion RMB during this period. We are committed to implementing transformation primarily in our organization and marketing strategy, which we believe will produce more favorable results in 2024 and beyond. This, in turn, will enable us to accelerate our growth and expand our scale from the fourth quarter of 2024. Our aim is to capitalize on global opportunities arising from our leadership in smart EV technologies, improve our organizational efficiency, and gain a dominant market share. Our ultimate goal is to establish XPeng as the top smart EV company by 2030.
谢谢大家。下面由我们的财务 VP James Wu 为大家介绍我们在2023年第三季度的财务状况。
Thank you, everyone. With that, I'll now turn the call over to our VP of Finance, Mr. James Wu, to discuss our financial performance for the third quarter of 2023.
Thank you, XPeng. Now, I'd like to provide a brief overview of our financial results for the third quarter of 2023. I'll reference RMB only in my discussion today, unless otherwise stated. Our total revenues were 8.53 billion for the third quarter of 2023, an increase of 25% year-over-year and an increase of 68.5% quarter-over-quarter. Revenues from vehicle sales were 7.84 billion for the third quarter of 2023, representing an increase of 25.7% year-over-year and an increase of 77.3% quarter-over-quarter. The year-over-year and quarter-over-quarter increases were mainly attributable to the accelerating sales growth of the G6 in the third quarter of 2023. Gross margin was negative 2.7% for the third quarter of 2023, compared with 13.5% for the same period of 2022 and negative 3.9% for the second quarter of 2023. Excluding the negative impact attributable to the G3i and the production as we described in the prior quarter, the gross margin would have been break-even for this quarter. Vehicle margin was negative 6.1% for the third quarter of 2023, compared with 11.6% for the same period of 2022 and negative 8.6% for the second quarter of 2023. The year-over-year decrease was explained by, first, the inventory write-downs amounting to 0.23 billion related to the Model G3i as we finished the rest of the production in its life cycle, with a negative impact of 2.9 percentage points on vehicle margin. And secondly, increased sales promotions and the expiry of new energy vehicle subsidies. The quarter-over-quarter increase was primarily attributable to the improvement in our product mix and battery cost reduction. R&D expenses were 1.31 billion for the third quarter of 2023, representing a decrease of 12.9% year-over-year and a decrease of 4.5% quarter-over-quarter. The year-over-year and quarter-over-quarter decreases were mainly in line with the development timing and progress of new vehicle programs. SG&A expenses were 1.69 billion for the third quarter of 2023, representing an increase of 4% year-over-year and an increase of 9.6% quarter-over-quarter. The year-over-year and quarter-over-quarter increases were primarily attributable to the higher commissions paid to our franchise stores. As a result of the foregoing, loss from operations was 3.16 billion for the third quarter of 2023, compared with 2.18 billion for the same period of 2022 and 3.09 billion for the second quarter of 2023. Fair value loss on derivative liability was 0.97 billion for the third quarter of 2023. On July 26, 2023, our company entered into an agreement with Volkswagen Group to issue up to 4.99% of our company's ordinary shares for a fixed purchase price of $15 per ADS. Until the transaction closes, fluctuations in the fair value of the forward share purchase agreement were measured through profit or loss, resulting in a non-cash loss of 0.97 billion for this quarter. Net loss was 3.89 billion for the third quarter of 2023, compared with 2.38 billion for the same period of 2022 and 2.8 billion for the second quarter of 2023. Non-GAAP net loss, which excludes share-based compensation expenses and fair value loss on derivative liability, was 2.79 billion for the third quarter of 2023, compared with 2.22 billion for the same period of 2022 and 2.67 billion for the second quarter of 2023. As of September 30th, 2023, our company had cash and cash equivalents, restricted cash, short-term investments, and time deposits in total of 36.48 billion. The positive free cash flow in Q3, as XPeng mentioned earlier, was the main driver for our higher quarter-over-quarter cash balance. To be mindful of the length of our earnings call, I would encourage listeners to refer to our earnings press release for more details on our third quarter financial results. This concludes our prepared remarks. We'll now open the line to questions. Operator, please go ahead.
Thank you. If you wish to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone and wait for your name to be announced. If you wish to cancel your request, please press star then 2. If you are on a speakerphone, please pick up the handset to ask a question. For the benefit of all participants on today's call, if you wish to ask your question to management in Chinese, please immediately repeat your question in English. For the sake of clarity and order, please ask one question at a time. Management will respond, and then feel free to follow up with your next question. Your first question comes from Tim Zhao with Morgan Stanley. Please go ahead.
管理层你们好，非常感谢接受我的提问。我有2个问题。那第2个问题是有关于竞争，因为我们也看到了过去几个季度有更多的科技企业包含像华为、小米相继加入的这个电车的竞争。那也很惊讶，这个友商华为销售带货能力如此之强所以就您的看法，电动车未来的这个竞争是不是大概率是商业生态圈的一个竞争呢？那我们也看到科技厂可以利用消费电子业务衍生的渠道和用户生态去强化产品销售，但是对于我们电车企业的话，管理层怎么去补足这一块的差距？这是第一个问题。So my first question is about the competition. As we noticed that there are more tech companies like Huawei and Xiaomi challenging the incumbent EV makers. We noticed that tech companies have the advantages of a cross-division ecosystem, as well as the channel that remain quite difficult for car makers to replicate. How would XPeng make up for such shortcomings versus tech players in the following quarters? That's my first question. Thank you.
谢谢我的小朋友，这个非常好，但是我觉得也很困难回复的问题这个在我原来的互联网创业，在我当时投资小鹏汽车的时候，上都在思考这个话题。我先举一些以前的案例吧。这个在我上一次的移动互联网创业里面，我们看到了2种竞争。第一种是不是可以用流量去能够在很多领域都能够进行一个生态的互补的竞争。最后我们的结果发现，流量是有很多地方是可以互补的，因为它可以穿透不同的能力。但是在终端方面，比如说在 PC、在手机、在电视领域里面，他们的内容、他们的流量是无法互通的。也就是说，在这样的一个案例里面，它并没有成功。所以在今天的情况下，我们可以看到，越来越多的跨界的企业，以前我们有看到，比如说来自地产，有来自于手机，有来自于互联网，或者来自于其他行业的这个企业在跨界竞争。我们就要看看这个跨界和电动车这样一个大型制造强 AI 的这样的一个能力，它是不是会有多少的衍生性？这是一个非常需要思考的话题。我想说的就是说，当然在小鹏汽车的布局里面，一直都是非常期望去看到小鹏自己在这个领域里面有这样的一些布局。所以我举一个例子，在几年前，小鹏一直在考虑在出行跟 AI 上面如何能够进行生态的布局，包括了我们的飞行汽车今年已经是第9年，机器人已经是第5年的这样的一个布局，包括了在最近7月份宣布的我们和大众的合作。我们实际上更多的想在供应链、在制造领域跟大众的合作，在全球的品牌销售、售后服务领域，甚至制造领域跟大众的合作。那么这也是我们的这个生态的布局，包括我们在8月份和滴滴在 A 级车、在出行车、在将来的这个 Robotaxi 相关的领域的生态的布局，实际上都是期望将不同的能力进行的组合。但是我们也想非常明确的是说，那么最终做强是要靠自己，但是做大锦上添花可以靠生态的合作。我还是这样的一个认为。谢谢。
Thank you so much for your question. This is Xiaopeng. Now, this is a very good question, but not an easy question. I would like to start by reviewing my past entrepreneurial experience. I first started with an international internet company, and then I went on to invest in XPeng. I mean, your question has always been a question of thinking, for many years in the past of my experience. Let me give you an example. When I was in the mobile internet business, we saw a lot of competition, and there are different ways to compete in that landscape. For example, people turn to acquiring traffic, and that is a good way to actually make up for different shortcomings in the ecosystem or the lack of different capabilities or abilities in different aspects. And you saw a lot of, a crossover from different players in different sectors, and you realize that the problem with using or relying purely on traffic is that there are a lot of media that has the traffic that is not transferable. Let me give you an example. Audience from watching traditional TV, may not be the same audience who rely so heavily on mobile phones, etc. And so that actually leads to a lot of failures. But right now, you also are seeing a lot of competitions from players across different sectors, who try to actually enter a new domain using different ecosystem or capabilities from their own sector. For example, you see players from the real estate, the mobile smartphone industry, and also from the internet and a lot of tech companies as well. So when we compare ourselves against these players from other sectors, we have to really come down to our internal capability. We have to look at what we have as our strength. For example, we are very strong with our technology. We're very strong with our AI capability and also manufacturing capability as well as a supply chain as well. So really, what helps us to differentiate ourselves and stand out from the crowd is that we can actually focus on what we already have and expand using different partnerships. For example, we have been very committed to actually expand our ecosystem by, for example, investing in our other formats of mobility, different vehicle formats. We have invested in our robotics technology and flying cars, etc. We also have announced our partnership with Volkswagen in different aspects, including supply chain technology, global sales and marketing, and also after-sales services as well. And in August, we also announced our partnership with DiDi, a leading mobility tech platform, to expand our market share in the A-class vehicle segment, also to build the foundation for our future expansion in robotaxi, etc. Now, these are just some of the examples of how we try to make up for our shortcoming in the ecosystem. And we believe that by combining different capabilities through this partnership, we can actually strengthen our overall competency, building on the strong foundation that we already have, which is our technology and our core manufacturing capability as a car maker. Thank you.
谢谢小鹏总的详细讲啊。那我第二个问题是有关于产品的定价权啊。虽然刚才在 call 上面小鹏总也提到，计划明年实现整体降本25%的一个目标。那如果我们希望从4季度到明年开始，这个能够有一个比较可持续的一个毛利率的增长之外，是不是除了降本之外，产品在细分市场的定价权，会不会扮演一个更重要的角色啊？因为我们看到国内部分车企似乎是外包的这个价格策略给特斯拉跟比亚迪等企业啊，就是被动做一些价格调整。所以也想请问一下管理层啊，就是小鹏汽车在未来如何在细分市场里面取得更强的一个定价权啊？除了这个降本之外。So my second question is about the pricing power. Because as mentioned earlier in the call, I think the company targets to cut the 2024 production cost by 25%. As the company optimizes design and efficiency, etc. However, without enhancing the pricing power, very likely the benefit of cost saving might still be depleted by the constant price undercutting. Especially quite a lot of car makers outsource their pricing strategies these days to like Tesla and BYD and just respond passively. So how does XPeng plan to strengthen its pricing power on top of the cost reduction into 2024? That's my second question. Thank you.
对，谢谢啊，我非常认同你的观点啊。虽然我们都期望在长期来看，在全球能够像苹果手机一样拥有非常好的这个定价权了， 我相信在汽车领域里面，首先这个定价权来自于规模，以及对于综合的这个成本控制能力也好。实际上规模影响了成本，且规模也影响了销量。那么特别是在现在这个整个的能力重塑品牌重塑的这个过程中间。那么其次定价权我认为还来自于品牌的溢价，以及对于客户满足客户的这个差异化能力。按照我们跟我们的总裁王峰英一直在聊走，他是品类创新的坚定的拥趸者，所以我们在后面的不少产品里面都会考虑到如何差异化的满足客户的需求所以在定价权的领域里面，我相信在小鹏的2024、2025年，我们会不断的看到我们在最开始的这个4个要素：规模、成本、品牌以及差异化这4个方面，小鹏会综合来发力，来获得更强大的定价权。谢谢。
Thank you for your question. First of all, I agree with your opinion that pricing power is very important. And in the long term, we definitely want to become the Apple in automaking, which has very, very strong bargaining power and pricing power. As a car maker, an OEM, we believe that there are several aspects that are important that's affecting our pricing power. One is scale, and the other is cost control capability, as well as our branding and differentiation. Definitely, the scale of sales affect our costs, and it's also the same the other way around as well. And right now, we are in the process of reshaping our overall capability as well as our brand. It is very important that we can actually, first of all, build our brand image as well as contributing to the customer value by really strengthening our differentiation. Our president, Ms. Wang Fongying, is a big advocate on internal and also systematic innovation. So going forward, going into 2024 and 2025, we will continue our effort and commitment in scaling up our sales and volume, controlling our costs, building our brand, as well as our differentiation in order to gain bigger pricing power. Thank you.
谢谢彭总，Thank you very much for sharing all the great insight. Thank you.
Your next question comes from Ming Zhong Li with Bank of America. Please go ahead.
Thank you. 小彭总还有各位领导你们好。那这边的话容我也发问2个问题。那第一个问题呢想要请问多关于就是渠道的这个改革，因为从王总加入我们公司以来，其实渠道改革就是一个持续性的。那刚才其实在这个一开始的这个开场的时候，小彭总也有提到这个包括第3季这个关店，然后又开了一些新店。那想了解一下就是说可以讲一讲，就是说目前来讲的话，这个渠道改革进行的这个进度大概是怎么样？那未来我们有没有一个就是比如说到明年年底的时候，我们希望我们这个店呢能够开到多少家？那另外就是还有一个最新的，我们希望将来的这个直营的店跟这个经销的店的一个占比。然后也想了解一下，就是说如果我们从一些这个数字的指标来看的话，能不能看得出来，就是说经过这个渠道的改革，我们这个比如在店效营运的效率或者是有哪一些其他的这个财务的指标，可以量化的指标，可以看到我们这边的一个渠道改革逐步有一些成效。那我翻译一下。So after Ms. Wang joined XPeng, the channels sales stores reforming is continuing. So do you have any metrics regarding to evaluate your progress on your channel reform? And besides that, do you have any target to about the long-term direct sales and also dealership percentage? 谢谢。
谢谢阿明这个我来讲一讲这个关于渠道的变革。这个凤英原来来自于这个长城，在成本、渠道、品类创新领域是做得非常的好的。那么在他入职的前面几个月，他一直在观察小鹏的渠道跟小鹏的销售体系，因为在过去小鹏是创新做到是这个自营，但是不全直营就是有直营渠道，有经销商渠道，但是控制这个价格统一价格这样的一个情况。那么所以一直在观察跟讨论。 那么我们在3季度明确我们这个讨论的方式，因为它跟着我们的未来2025年、2026年我们的车型的数量相关啊。也可以跟大家分享，2025年我们的车的数量比现在会有比较大的一个提高。那么同时也会考虑到将来的市场的变化、竞争，以及考虑到从现在的1、2线为主，到将来的要1、2线，要加上3、4线城市的组合。所以我们在3季度开始进行了变革。好，先翻译第一段，谢谢。
Thank you for your question. Now, I would like to address this by giving you a little bit of background information about our president, Ms. Wang. She comes from Changcheng, Great Wall, and traditional OEM, and she has been excellent in controlling costs, developing channels, and also leading innovative, systematic overhaul of the company. So, in the first few months that she joined our company, she spent a lot of time observing what we currently have. We used to have this hybrid channel of having our cell phone stores together with some franchisee stores, but we had total control of the pricing for all of the stores, all of the channels. And going into Q3, for the past quarter in Q3, we have already set our future strategy of channel innovation or reform, which will actually cater to different kinds of dynamics or changes going into 2025 to 2026. We are talking about, for example, significantly more models that we're going to launch in 2025. And also we take into consideration the future market competition, market environment, and also our future expansion to cover not just Tier 1, Tier 2 cities, but also Tier 3, Tier 4 cities as well.
那么所以呢，我们的中长期目标在接下来的数年里面，我们会建设500家及销售与服务功能一体的综合店，以及近1000家体验中心和卫星店，实现销售服务的大型的闭环。我们同时会预计在今年的4季度会开出超过100家的全新的经销商门店，而使我们在年底的总数超过500家。那么比例上是以经销商为主，当然我们都知道一个店从生店到熟店需要一定的时间，所以我们更有信心在明年的1季度、2季度它会给我们带来巨大的销售的增长。同时因为我们在第一线城市的扩张也会来使我们在这个第一线城市的销量得到提高。那么我们会保持在我们原来体系下仍然掌控的定价权，所以小鹏的各个区域的销售负责人会同时为直营跟经销2个体系的销量、满意度、NPS 等负责。我们会用一致的标准服务，并且会大力投入在工具、流程上面去来加强赋能跟管控。至于刚刚您最后的问题，就是关于在店效，我觉得今天来看小鹏的店效相比行业的领先者还有很大的提升空间。我们现在在做非常多的事情，我们预期在2024年我们会大幅提高。谢谢。
So in the mid to long term, we aim to have at least 500 stores that are capable of not only doing sales but services as well. And in the mid to long term, we also plan to have a total of at least 1,000 service centers across the country that can help us to provide better services to our customers. And going to Q4, we plan to open 100 new stores that can allow us to expand our sales network more extensively. And so by the end of 2023, we're going to have a total of 500 stores of different modes. And over time, because it takes time for those new stores to build up their capability and experience. So we believe that the time of the Q1 and Q2 next year will be the time when we can actually see a lot of growth in our deliveries and sales. And that can also allow us to see growth in deliveries and sales in lower tier cities in China as well, because we are going to build more stores in those areas and regions. In terms of the pricing control, we will remain very strong in terms of the extent of price control, and we are going to evaluate the performance of different stores from different aspects, including their NPS, and we can equip them and empower them with a wide range of tools, and we can control the procedures, and we can do a lot more things to maintain our strong control of the service qualities of those stores as well. Now, in terms of the efficiencies of the performance of the stores, I agree with you, and we believe that it is very important that we keep improving the overall efficiencies of our stores, because currently we see still a lot of room for growth there, for improvement there. And by 2024, we expect to see a huge uptake in terms of the efficiencies of our store. Thank you.
谢谢小彭总。那我这边第二个问题是关于出海的。那其实包括10月份我们这边也有小几千台的一个出口哦。那想了解一下，就是说我们在这个海外的，特别现在的欧洲市场的话，因为我们今年也开了一些直营店哦。那未来的话，我们认为就是说也会跟国内比较类似，就是这个直营跟经销的比重呢，也会是这个经销的更多，还是说目前来看的话，短时间还是会直营比较多，是为了这个建立品牌的过程。那除此之外呢，您觉得就是哪一些这个车型哦，我们小鹏的车型是比较适合比如说欧洲市场或海外市场，还是说基本上我们这个全车系都会出海？那另外我们有没有这个对于东南亚市场的一些计划？那我翻译一下我的问题。So my second question is related to export business. So in October, you also ship us a few thousands of cars to overseas market. So in the future, will you consider to build more direct operate stores, or you will rely on more on the distributors locally? And regarding your current product portfolio, do you think you will export all the models overseas, or you will select a few models for overseas market? Lastly, do you have any plan for Southeast Asia market?
Hey Ming, it's Brian. Let me address your question. Regarding the international expansion, you're correct that we currently employ sort of hybrid model. In the Nordic countries, we have direct owned stores as well as our partnership and agents. But going forward, we're probably going to opt to use a more of a collaborative partnership model, using either agents or distributors for specific markets. So that's probably going to be likely the mix will shift towards a more partnership-oriented model. And in terms of products that for international markets, you saw that we currently have G9 and P7i currently selling in Europe already. We will be launching G6 as a global product next year. So I would say it's only the subset of product that we will design and prove for international use, not all our products. So the products I mentioned are the ones that were currently decided for global markets. And also we have plans for right-hand driving models next year as well. For example, by the end of next year, we plan to roll out our first right-hand driving model, likely to be based on the G6 model. So with that, we'll be able to tackle Southeast Asia market. So that will definitely be in our sight, and we'll be also looking at other right-hand driving model markets as well.
Yeah, thank you, Brian. I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Your next question comes from Tina Hou with Goldman Sachs. Please go ahead.
感谢管理层的时间我这边有2个问题。第一个问题是我们4季度的这个整体销量的指引因为其实我们在10月份的时候就突破了一个月销2万辆的一个这样的一个很好的成绩但是如果看照我们4季度的指引的话，可能这个11月、12月相对10月份是相对比较持平的。那想请问一下，这个是一个什么样的原因？是比较保守的一个预算，还是有看到什么特别的一些就是市场的情况出现这是第一个问题。然后第二个问题是想问一下，咱们刚才讲了，如果刨去对 G3 的那个一次性的这个 impairment loss的刨除这一块的话，大概就是这个单车的车辆的毛利是持平的，是 break even 的那我看我们上一次大概月销量超过4万是21年的4季度，然后那一个季度实际上是车辆的毛利率是在 10.9% 我们报的但是这个季度同样是4万以上的一个销量，但是毛利率可能就只有持平的这么样一个水平，想问一下这其中的一个原因怎么样的。然后跟这个毛利率相关的 就是明年咱们当然降本这块有很清晰的一个路径，甚至可以就是超前完成，但是就是管理层提到这个毛利率大幅上涨，我们在这里边大概打入了就是预期了多少的可能价格，就是车辆价格的一个下降，因为我们看到今年的前3季度这个平均的 ASP 大概下降了一个6%左右吧。对，我就这2个问题，那我来翻译一下。Thank you very much for your time management. So my first question is regarding our sales volume. So according to our fourth quarter sales volume guidance, it seems that November and December will be flat versus the October volume. So just wondering what is the reason here? Are we just being conservative, or is there any specific trends that we've observed in the industry? And then the second question is regarding gross margin. So management mentioned excluding the impairment loss of G3, the vehicle gross margin was break-even in third quarter 23. So the last time we delivered over 40,000 units of vehicles was in the fourth quarter of 2021. And then back then, the vehicle gross margin was actually 10.9%. So just wondering what is leading to the differential in gross margin. And also related to that, management mentioned that next year we're expecting to see a great gross margin enhancement. Obviously, we know the cost reduction is pretty on track, even ahead of our progress. But then how much price decline are we factor into this gross margin expectation? Because we see that this year, for the 3 quarters this year, an average ASP actually declined by 6% year over year. So how much of the competition are we factoring into next year in terms of gross margin guidance? Thank you.
So Tina, this is Brian. Let me first answer your first question. The guidance of 60,000 this quarter, I think, reflect of our confidence of the progress we've made in the recent months. We think it's actually a very important milestone for us to reach an average 20,000 per month. So this is, I think, is a very, I would say, important milestone for us. And also by giving this guidance, we're also considering the competition as well as the macroeconomic backdrop that we're facing in the fourth quarter. We're very confident with the guidance because obviously the backlog we have already, as well as the momentum we're seeing in our order intake. But I think this is also reflective of the market at the moment, and we hope that this is a realistic target for us. And I'll hand over to James for the gross profit comments.
Yeah, Tina, from a gross margin perspective, first of all, as we talked about earlier, even if we compare to on a year-over-year basis, the reduction in margin came from, as you mentioned, the G3 EOP impact that we have booked in this quarter, and this will be the final impact from the G3 EOP perspective. And secondly, going into 2023, the new energy vehicle subsidy has been removed from the market, and that obviously has an impact on our margin as well. You did mention our ASP has reduced over time. I believe that's a overall market dynamic as well, because we've been trying to improve the product competitiveness for our product as well throughout this journey. In the meantime, as Xiaopeng mentioned, we do expect our gross margin to improve in Q4 meaningfully. Particularly, our vehicle margin will become positive, we believe, in the fourth quarter. And one proving factor as we improve our product mix is that as we launch the new G9 2024, we see the gross profit margin is actually higher than our older version of G9. This is a great proving point for us to continue to drive profitability of our products. Hopefully that answers your question.
非常感谢两位的回答。我还有很快的一个 follow up， 就是我们明年这个技术降本，哪些车型可以受到这个技术降本带来的一个好处啊 I just have a very quick follow-up. So in terms of the cost reduction, technology improvement cost reduction, which are the models that can benefit from the cost reduction? Thank you.
对，我们所有的车型都会受到技术降本跟商务降本的好处，但是我们对于最主要的这个销量更大的车型，我们会花出更多的重点来做得更好，这是我们的目标。
All of the models that we have will benefit from the cost reduction driven by technology advancement. But among our top-selling models, we are going to put more effort into driving up the cost reduction. Thank you.
Your next question comes from Paul Gong with UBS. Please go ahead.
谢谢接受我的提问。我的第一个问题是关于 Mona 的这个品牌的定位的。就我理解这个价格比我们的主品牌是略微低一点，但是这个其实低的也不是太多。我们怎么样来区分就说 Mona 和主品牌的一个品牌的定位，然后 Mona 会在我们现有的渠道里面同时的销售吗？ So my first question is regarding the positioning of the Mona brand. I understand the pricing point is generally lower than our main brands, but it's not really too much lower. And how shall we differentiate the brand positioning of the two brands? Is Mona also going to be available at our current stores to be sold simultaneously?
对，我们会在明年和大家分享关于 Mona 是我小鹏的第二个品牌的相关的定位以及这个整体的这个渠道以及整体的售后的相关联的一些信息。那么目前我们已经开始在做这一部分的准备工作了。那么我可以稍微分享一点，就是说在于渠道领域肯定有相当部分的渠道是会分开小鹏这个渠道来进行销售的在这条线。OK， 谢谢。
Thank you. We are going to disclose more information regarding Mona next year. I mean, 2024. We'll talk about this new brand in terms of its branding positioning, its channels and after-sales services. And right now, we are actively preparing for the launch of Mona for next year. One thing that I can address or I can share is that there's definitely going to have separate channels to sell Mona with apart from our current XPeng lineups.
好的，那我的第二个问题是关于就小鹏总在开场的时候说过，就是跟大众也讨论过国际化市场的这样一个话题。那不知道就说从小鹏总这个角度看来，像领跑跟 Stellantis 他们成立的这个领跑国际的这种 JV， 相当于把领跑的这个产品，把中方的产品拿到国际市场，双方各取所长，这么一种方式，是否也是一种叫可以快速扩大国际化市场的一种方式呢？ So my second question is regarding your earlier comments you have discussed with Volkswagen regarding the global markets. How do you think the business model between Stellantis and Leapmotor that bring the Chinese products leverage with global OEMs, global footprints and bring to the global markets? Would that accelerate your globalization in terms of the market reach?
Hey Paul, this is Charles here. I'll address the question. I think first of all, our joint development on for the model based on the G9 platform has been going on really efficiently, and I think we're going to achieve a milestone very soon. And I think the international market collaboration is one of the strategic initiatives we're exploring with our partner Volkswagen, and I think that Volkswagen has global manufacturing footprint and also the supply chain capabilities. I think there's a lot of areas we can learn from our partner and also leverage each other's strength in the international market. We wouldn't comment on other companies' collaboration model. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your next question comes from Ping He Wu with CITIC Securities. Please go ahead.
感谢管理层的这个提问的机会啊。那么我也有2个问题啊。那刚才投资人其实就是请教了关于下沉市场我们的渠道的这个问题。那我想跟进一个关于产品的问题，就是我们怎么看下沉市场的一些这个需求，以及我们怎么通过产品在下沉市场上发挥我们的一些强项。So my first question is about to sell cars in the lower tier market. How do we think of the demand for the lower tier cities, and how do we utilize our strengths in those markets? 那我的第2个问题是关于就是关于这个 R&D 明年的 R&D 的这个计划。那么我们其实看到包括今年和去年整个 R&D 的这个总的费用基本上是走平的。那么明年我们的销量会继续提升的情况下，我们会不会就是用更多的钱花在这个研发上？那么可能我们研发就是增加的部分主要是投入在哪边？My second question is about the research and development for the 2024. As what will the R&D total amount increase next year, and where will this money be spent on? Thank you.
对，你好，吴小姐啊，这个我来回答你的前2个问题啊。这个关于产品的问题，实际上对于下沉市场的需求，实际上我们在Mola 这个平台以及我们在另外一个品类创新上，我们都有考虑啊，就是在产品上首先因为在这里面我并不想，因为在没有发布产品之前，并不想去提供产品具体的方向。但首先我们第一个就是说，我们期望将最优秀的智能辅助驾驶也能够在3、4线或者2、3线城市的需求用户里面能够得到很好的支持，就是我们会将这样的一个能力会标配，并且在这些城市都会全面的使用这是我们想说的第一个重要的点。第2个的我们一定会在整个的渠道以及在这个渠道的方面也会做出很大的变化，跟现在的逻辑。那么现在可以先分享这2点，谢谢。
Let me address your first question. Regarding our product lineup, we are going to meet the lower tier city demands by offering Mona and other new products. And right now, we're not in a position to disclose too much specific information. But what I can say right now is that we aim to offer top-notch ADAS technology and capabilities to the lower tier market as well, including tier 2 all the way to tier 4 cities, customers. And we are going to set those autonomous driving capability as standard configurations in our future lineups for those cities as well. And we are also going to reform our distribution channels for the lower tier market. Thank you.
对，关于 R&D 的问题，这个非常好，也是我近期在一直在思考的一个话题啊。我想说的是，小鹏在最近的3个季度，我们在做一系列的事情，来使 R&D 的费用更有效率例如第一件事情，当我重新调整组织的，我第一件事情就是做减法把不需要的 R&D 去掉。第2个是大力推动模块化让不同车型、不同平台进入成一个扶摇架构体系。那么例如第3个，我举一个例子，我们现在在很多的研发的这个跟供应商的沟通过程中间，我们是将供应商的 R&D 的研发费用直接记录到 BOM， 我们宁愿让 BOM 更高，但是我们要降低这个研发费用。那么通过这一系列的事情，那么第4个我加强在整个全体系 R&D 工具体系的打通这是我们最近在做的一系列事情。那么在明年开始，我们一定会在多个地方，觉得我们的能力提高了，我们会在多个地方会进一步加强。第一个加强就是造型，然后其次是智能化，包括还有工艺我们认为工艺有巨大的提高的空间，以及国际化的 R&D 等方面，以及在一些我们的对未来的布局的长期的战术那个战略的这个 R&D 里面，我们都会来进行加速。所以在明年我们的 R&D 的费用相对我们的 这个今年的绝对数值肯定是会有一个一定程度明显的提高。谢谢。
Regarding your second question on the R&D expenses, actually we've been putting in a lot of thought in the past 3 quarters, and we've actually done a lot in starting from the beginning of this year to reduce our R&D fee. Let me give you several examples. When we started the overhaul in our restructuring of the organization, the first thing we did is to cut R&D expenses, and we also have been advocating this module-based design rationale that can allow us to put everything on the same architecture, the SEPA 2.0. We also have actually encouraged and asked our suppliers to put their R&D expenses into the BOM, to reduce the overall R&D expenses on our front. Another thing that we did was to actually equip our R&D team with more systematic tools and ways that can allow better integration and mutual compatibility of different parts, so that our overall R&D expenses can be cut even further. So going into 2024, we are going to actually strengthen several capabilities. The first one is our overall design capability of our models and products. We also will strengthen our craftsmanship, which is also critical in manufacturing. We will continue to improve our smartification, the intelligence of our products. We will also do R&D improvement for the international market to strengthen our globalization capability, and we will also put in some R&D efforts to prepare for our long-term development, and also for our long-term strategy as well. So in terms of the absolute value of our R&D expenses in 2024, definitely it's going to be higher than this year.
好的，谢谢您的回答，感谢。
The next question comes from Jing Chang with CICC. Please go ahead.
好的，谢谢接受我的提问。那我这边跟进问一个问题，关于自动驾驶这边，我们相信也是会成为未来几年比较核心的这个竞争的领域。那想问一下，就是我们这边怎么去预期自动驾驶对行业竞争格局重新塑造的一个速度？会觉得它可能很快在1-2年时间可以看到，还是说可能会耗费更久的一个时间？那在这个很多传统车企的践行自动驾驶方面，我们也看到有选择跟其他的这个公司进行合作的形式。就相比之下的话，能否再分享一下我们在做这种全站自研的自动驾驶的技术相关的一些优势？Okay, this is my only one question. Regards to autonomous driving, which we believe will become the key sector in the field next years. So how do we expect the speed of autonomous driving to reshape the competitive landscape of the industry? Will it be very quickly to be seen in the maybe next 1 to 2 years, or will it take much longer time? We also see that many traditional OEMs have chosen to cooperate with other companies in the practice of autonomous driving. So in contrast, can we share some details of our advantages of our in-house research?
嗨，静，这是小鹏。那么关于自动驾驶我们认为在这个5年里面会类似2018年到2022年新能源汽车的高速发展的5年。我大概认为，在2025年相当于2020年新能源汽车的快速发展。我们可以看到，如果看到2020年中国新能源汽车的新车占比渗透率是在2020年快速起来的。那么现在我认为还是在技术的准备，在行业的铺垫，在预热的过程中间，现在是有很多越来越多的有创新精神、愿意探索、喜欢科技的这个年轻心态的客户都在开始来尝试。但是我相信在随着一段时间之后，会有更多的大众用户我会进入的这个市场。我特别开心的是，现在有越来越多的友商跟我们在一起再去整个智能驾驶的市场来进行铺垫、教育和孵化，我觉得这是非常好的事情。那么对于全站先帮我翻译第一段吧，谢谢。
Thank you for your question. This is Xiaopeng. I think the upcoming 5 years will actually usher in an era of rapid development for ADAS adoption and technology development. It's going to be very similar to the stage where we see the rapid development of NEV penetration from back in 2018 to 2022. And I remember back in 2020, we saw a huge uptake in the penetration rate of new energy vehicles in the market. And I think right now, in terms of ADAS technology adoption, we're still in the warming up stage, in terms of the technology readiness and also for the whole industry as well. We definitely are seeing more and more younger customers who are embracing this new technology, who are willing to try this new experience. And in the future, we are very optimistic about the adoption rate improvement because first of all, we're very excited to see that there are more and more participants in the industry, that are helping us to educate a wider audience, that are cultivating the market to get it ready for this upcoming exciting era of ADAS adoption.
对，关于全站自研，我相信的优势太多了。我随便举几个例子。第一，例如如何进行本地化。那么在中国有很多 ETC， 中国有很多的不同的减速带。那么想做到这个，在这个技术里面做得好，你需要有本地化的自研。我举例，这是第一。第二点，如何做到超低的成本啊？客户现在对于全自动驾驶的接受度越来越高了，但是他期望是在合适的成本和合适的安全和体验的环境下，如何让整个的成本能够做到更好，只有全站自研。那么例如如何能够拥抱新的技术变化，我们都看到在过去的1年里面，大语言的模型的变化，如何让大语言模型从哪一些环节是部分的端还是在全域的端去来协助自动驾驶，只有全站自研才能做到。另外我们看到一个非常有趣的观点，就是说现在的智能汽车跟原来的汽车从双耦合越来越进入到 AI 的紧耦合，只有在多个领域，比如说在座舱，在智能驾驶，在 EA 架构，在语言模型等多个地方的全站自研，它才能够把不同的硬件、软件、能力、成本和运营体系耦合在一起。所以基本上我们认为在将来的这个趋势里面，像部分自研或者部分领域的全站自研是非常困难的应对这个长期的这个竞争的。谢谢。
Now, regarding our advantages or strength in having this full stack in-house R&D capability, there's a long list of examples of strengths that I can give you. I mean, just to name a few, localization of the self-development of the technology is one of them. And the second thing is to control the cost of production because, even though we are seeing a wider customer base that are trying to embrace the technology, they still want to have both safety in terms of experience and also affordability as well. So having full stack development capability definitely allow us to control the cost better. And another good advantage of having that capability is that it can allow us to embrace upcoming and very cutting-edge technology very timely as well. For example, in the past year, we saw this emergence of the application of large language models, and having full-stack R&D capability allow us to do full domain end-to-end application of that new technology, which would not be possible without that capability. And that is actually happening with a lot of our peers who are struggling to adopt new technology as well. And another good point that I would like to make is that we are seeing more and more, or tighter coupling with AI technology, with car manufacturing capability or R&D capability, and we need to have, for example, the next gen EE architecture, the unified ADAS domain, smart cockpit and voice assistant, to actually embrace this tighter coupling with AI technology, and that actually requires a lot of integration on not just the hardware level, but also hardware together with software and AI as well. And we are very proud that currently we are very capable of doing that thanks to our full stack R&D capability.
好的，谢谢，我这边没有其他问题。
And the last question is coming from Nick Lai with JP Morgan. Please go ahead.
好，谢谢管理层。我这个比较简单，有关获利性的问题，就是在四季度，我记得在上次电话会议的时候，我没记错的话，在上次电话会有提到说，四季度的整车毛利应该是有机会的转正，不晓得这个指引是不是现在还在成立？然后同时间，明年的这个整个 profit margin 的趋势，因为我看这个明年有这个就 G6、G9 NPV 价格比较高，所以就基本上明年的毛利应该是比现在高好很多，这样可以理解嘛？然后同时间另外一个刚提到说 Mona 这个产品15万的价格，然后刚刚小彭总有提到说在15万的这价格同时会推出比较高阶的 ADAS 的产品。那目前在市场上在15万的纯电车型，大部分的获利能力都不是特别高。那我们怎么去拆分理解说我们能够在15万这个价格同时推出比较多的 content 这个具有竞争力，同时又有维持获利。我很快 let me illustrate my question very briefly. I recall in the second quarter result call, management indicate that the 4Q vehicle margin will likely turn to positive territory. Is our guidance is still so at the moment? And at the same time, we are launching the new A segment sedan under Mona brand with pricing point of about 150,000 RMB. At the same time, the new product will be equipped with a high-end ADAS product. How do we reconcile the competition in the low-end segment and also the fact that we will equip the product with a much more advanced ADAS content? Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Nick. This is James. So I'll answer your questions one by one. First of all, to reconfirm, we do believe our fourth quarter vehicle margin will turn positive, to confirm your question. And this is bolstered by better mix of products in Q4 compared to Q3. And as I mentioned earlier, we did see some level of battery cost reduction that came through towards the end of Q3. So for Q4, we'll see a full quarter of battery cost reduction coming through, empowering the lithium prices stable over time. Going into 2024, we do expect our gross margin to be meaningfully improved versus 2023 on a full year basis, and this is also bolstered by our continued cost reduction to achieve our 25% or even more cost reduction targets, as Xiaopeng mentioned earlier. We will have better product mix next year as we launch, for example, G9, which will be amongst the highest X9, the highest gross margin product at this point in our portfolio. And obviously the new products coming from our CPA 2.0 platform next year will have better margin as well. And lastly, to your question on Mona, you're correct. It is targeting A segment, but we do see the Mona has a very good cost control and planning process, very competitive from a cost perspective. First of all, and second of all, Mona will help us achieve great scale, which will benefit to the entire company from a scale perspective as we thin our cost allocation and therefore improve our margin. And lastly, we do expect more controlled associated sales expense related to the Mona sales because of the scale. So it should not be a drag from a bottom line perspective in terms of profitability. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, was there a follow-up question?
No, it's clear. Thank you. It's clear.
Thank you. As there are no further questions now, I'd like to turn the call back over to the company for closing remarks.
Thank you once again for joining us today. If you have further questions, please feel free to contact XPeng's Investor Relations through the contact information provided on our website for the P7 Financial Communications.
This concludes today's conference call. You may now disconnect your line. Thank you.